Hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop.
Welcome to another episode of the Audible. I am your host. New name. You may still call me DJ Dots, but new channel name. Trying to do a little rebranding. Trying to grow and prosper in these YouTube streets. New channel's name, God of Dots. Yeah, I kind of like that. Might have to come up with a new logo, but I like it. Welcome, like I said, welcome to another episode of the Audible, where we break down all the latest and greatest from the wide world of sports in my own unique flavor. Like, I ain't gonna be here too long. You know how it is. I like to get in, get out, enjoy sports just like everybody else does. But we gotta break it down. First of all, we're gonna go over the NBA action from last night. Very good games. A lot of storylines coming out of those games. I'm gonna look forward to tonight's game. Matter of fact, I know Philly is still up. About to be halved. They're up by 11. Look like Joel is going to work this game. Look like he's going to work. 19 already. But we will be getting to the NBA action, of course. You know, playoff season is heating up. Semifinals. Some of these series may be coming to a close by this weekend. But we'll talk about it. Also going to give you an update on the Brett Favre situation. It was some new news that kind of came out. Well, not necessarily new news, but it is some very important news when we're talking about the Brett Favre scandal, and that's what it is. It's a scandal. But you know, I kind of feeling those who wasn't around when I did the show on my other channel about that. But we'll be getting to the Brett Favre update. But hey, let's start with last night's games. Kind of get the lesser of the two out of the way. Congratulations to the Miami Heat. Very hard fought-won game. Heat now go up 3-1. Jimmy Butler didn't have the best of games. It was more of a team effort. Bam Adebayo had a pretty good game. Nothing to write home about as far as the stats, but like I said, it was a very good game for those who watched it. If you didn't watch it, hey, go on the channel. I got the highlights for you. For those who don't want to sit through and watch the whole game, your boy got you. I got you hooked up. Just hey, soon as the final is over, I'm right there with the upload. So yeah, I got you. Remember, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, Miami goes up 3-1. The series is over. It's a wrap. Maybe over in 6, but more than likely it's over in 5. It's like New York, and this is like the most baffling thing about this series compared to Miami and Milwaukee. You know, you can say, well, Giannis was out, but New York is at full strength. New York, I don't know what kind of team is like during this series. They're getting confused about what kind of team they want to be. You know, do you want to be the jump shooting team? Do you want to be the running team? Do you want to be the guys that run a set offense all the time? What kind of team do you want to be? One thing you can say about Miami, and this comes down to coaching, and we've talked a lot about coaching during this playoff season. One thing about Miami, when we're talking about coaching, they have a system. They have a way that they play ball. They have a way they conduct business. We'll shoot the occasional three. We're more of a drive and kick team. We're really not a low post scoring team. So we're not really dumping it into the bigs, allowing them to work that way, because that's not how the team's constructed. But Miami seems to have an identity about themselves. They play tough. They play hard. Everybody comes in. It's no egos involved. The hierarchy is clearly defined. And with the hierarchy clearly defined, hey, the offense is running through one player. and everybody else kind of feeds off that. And everybody plays their roles. And we're going to talk about roles when we're talking about the follow-up game, Lakers and Warriors. When we're talking about roles, it's guys accepting their roles, understanding what their roles is, and embracing those roles. Miami has a firm grasp of that. And that's why you see the team having such success. The guys that they have, the undrafted guys, the no names people don't try to be superheroes. They don't try to play outside of their skill set. They know their limitations. They know what their role is. When you watch New York play, and when you really match up the rosters, if you really put the rosters side by side and was to say, okay, pick the best 5 players from both teams, New York will probably have most of those players on that list. You of course start out with Jimmy, probably second best player talent-wise in this series, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Randall, maybe Bam, maybe RJ, but you got what, three or four of the 5 coming from New York. New York just doesn't have a clear identity right now in this series, and it's showing. It's showing. I mean, I like what they got there. It's room for them to grow. It's room for them to build. I don't think Thibodeau is going to be gone as the coach, but you guys got to really sit down and figure out what kind of team do you want to be. Is Julius Randle's going to be a stretch 4? Is he going to be the primary option? Is Jalen Brunson going to be the primary option? At some point, RJ Barrett is going to have to start getting some real looks as being a possibly 2 or 3 option. I mean, you have talent there in New York, but what you're seeing is it's the difference in coaching. Guys don't understand what their roles are. Guys not really embracing those roles, and it's showing in their play. Like I said, talent-wise, New York has more talent than Miami. I mean, let's keep it above. Gator girl, how you doing? That nigga back in my good run, good even good people. Yeah, I think the series is over in 6. I think New York goes home and plays strong, but I don't see it going more than 6. Like I said, Miami knows what kind of team they are, and it's like New York is still trying to figure that out. Like, are you going to be a defensive team? Are you going to be a team that's going to get up and down the floor? What kind of team are you trying to be? And the playoffs is the wrong time to try to identify what team you're trying to be. Now, you do have some teams that are able to make slight adjustments to who they are, but at the core, you are what you are. And Miami knows what they are. New York is kind of struggling with that, and you saw it in last night's game. They're coming down the stretch. Like, New York just couldn't get a stop. You would think with Thibodeau being such a quote-unquote defensive-minded head coach, they would play much better defense coming down the stretch, and defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. If you don't understand defense wins championships, I don't know what sports you've been watching. NFL, baseball, basketball, defense wins championships. You got to be good defensively. And, since we're kind of moving on, like I said, I got Knicks probably winning game 5 to push it to 6, but it's over in 6 at the most. Over in 6 at the most. But now we're going to kind of get into the game of the night. Lakers, Warriors. Yeah, I know some Warriors fans out there that thought they were going to win game 4. Thought Golden State was going to have the remedy to solving the Lakers puzzle box that they've been put into. But yeah, let's talk about it. Lakers, Warriors, great game last night. First of all, whether I'm a fan or not, great game. I think some of the stuff I was saying yesterday's show about Golden State trying to get a little bit more athletic, get a little bit faster. It kind of worked for them for a while. I'll give Steve Kerr a lot of credit for making that coaching change, giving Gary Payton a lot more minutes, to make the team more athletic, able to get up and down the floor. Why have size out there if they're not going to be useful? Not going to be useful. I doubt you see too much of Kevon Looney going forward. If this series goes past game 5, I doubt you see Kevon Looney getting too many heavy minutes. And that's a shame, because he's worked his ass off this playoff season. But hey, this is a bad matchup. And I've been screaming that Every day that I've been doing the show, when we're talking about the NBA, sometimes it just comes down to the matchups. It comes down to matchups, and it also comes down to coaches making adjustments. And one of the biggest adjustments, I think it took Darvin Ham. I would say this: I'll be critical of my team. I think it took Darvin Ham a little too long to yank D'Angelo Russell. Hey, sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. And D'Angelo Russell, for whatever reason, his shot wasn't falling. He didn't have it last night. I think he walked away with 4 points. Didn't have it. Luckily, Austin Reeves finally made an appearance. AD did what AD does. LeBron was LeBron, but the hero and star of last night's game was none other than Lonnie Walker. People forget how athletic. First of all, this guy was a former first round draft pick, and he's young. I mean, we're talking when he got drafted about 4 or 5 years ago. Young guy, and he's got fresh legs. I think Darvin Ham, like I said, excellent coaching move. Go to Walker. Walker came in, started producing, and he rode Walker to the end. 15 points in the fourth quarter. 15 points in the fourth quarter. Lakers defense started locking down. And I would say this: Steph Curry had a hell of a game. But if you watch the game, and of course, if you haven't watched the game, got the highlights on the channel. I got you. If you didn't watch the game, Curry was tired. That boy was tired. It's enough. Yeah, girl says it's gonna come down to the old heads versus the young guns. Maybe. Curry looked tired. Come fourth quarter, Curry looked tired. It's one thing to be able, to be put upon. You're the leading scorer. You're producing all the points. Klay Thompson is not giving you nothing. And Jordan Poole, we'll get into Jordan Poole in just a second. Draymond's really not giving you nothing. You're getting I'm just gonna say subpar production from Andrew Wiggins. He's if you watch the game, he doesn't jump out the page like you halftime. You forget he's there. But Curry was tired. Curry was tired. Not only are you responsible for creating your own offense, you're also being responsible for setting up others. And he had a hell of a game, triple double. I'm not going to take anything away from that, but it's a double-edged sword when you say we want the ball in Curry's hands, because guess what? It takes away some of the movement, because guys now have to kind of stand around and play the role of spot-up shooter. And Golden State became a pick-and-roll team. A pick-and-roll team. Gettier says, woo, child. Poole's on some massively weird energy and bad play. I would say this. I would say this about, I'm going to go ahead and get into Jordan Poole. I'm at it. 0 points last night, 10 minutes, 0 for 4. Typically, a bench guy, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. Jordan Poole is, first of all, you've been in the headlines since last offseason when you got paid, got knocked the hell out in practice. For you to not, and it's the body language. You're seeing that with Jordan Poole. You've seen that with DeAndre Ayton. The body language of some of these young guys thinking, because this is the playoffs. A coach, I can't be here to pacify you. I can't be here to coddle you. I can't stroke your ego. I am trying to win basketball games. And I think some of these young guys don't understand that. And a part of that, if you really want to dive real deep into it, dive real deep into that mindset, you can start thinking about AAU basketball. How these guys are recruited, picked, coddled, get what they want. It's that old school mentality of having to earn it. They think they're supposed to be given to them. But Jordan Poole, for you to play, and it's not just last night. If anybody just watched Golden State, this entire playoff series, with the exception of like a game or two, Jordan Poole has been horrible. Been a shell of himself. He's not providing the scoring. He's not providing the playmaking that he is expected to provide, considering they just gave that man a massive 4-year extension. that knockout, not the Dubs repeat campaign out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, that was a knockout blow. I'm happy. How you doing, Miss VS? Welcome. But like I said, great overall, great game. I'd be hard pressed to pick Golden State to win Game 5. I would be hard pressed to pick Golden State to win Game 5, and here's why I say that. What other coaching moves does Steve Kerr have left? I mean, it's obviously Clay ain't got it. Draymond and Jermichael Green and Looney can't stop AD. LeBron is kind of like at this point picking his spots. You're giving confidence to, as Shaq likes to call them, the others. Where do you go? I mean, you changed the approach where we're going to, your normal offense is run where you're running off screens. Steph and Clay are running off screens and getting shots. Till last night where you got Steph being the primary ball handler. Like, what other adjustments can you make? I mean, Poole to me has mentally kind of checked out. Has checked out of this series. Maybe Clay has a good shooting game, gives you a big game. I don't know. But if you don't jump on the Lakers early and put them away early, and you drag it out and you allow them to remain close, the Lakers have shown, hey, we're able to kind of close the door on you. And last night was an opportunity for Golden State get out of there with a split, go back home 2-2. But Steph was tired. Coming down the stretch. Offense this went stale. You can credit a lot of that to the Lakers defense, but when we know you've only got one option, maybe two out on the floor, it's easy. And eventually, AD started jumping out on those pick and rolls and actually show I don't have to lock down Curry, but I bother him with my size, my length, and my quickness. But where do you go, Golden State? Where does Golden State go after last night? What moves does Steve Kerr have left? We'll see. Game 5 is tomorrow. We'll see. I don't think. I mean, I hate to pick the Lakers in Golden State, but it's something about the way Golden State is giving off this vibe, and they was giving off this vibe with Sacramento. But Sacramento, was just too young. Coach didn't make the right adjustments, because if I'll go on record as saying this: if Coach Brown would have snatched Kevin Huerter sorry ass out of the starting lineup and gave it to Monk, we wouldn't be talking about Golden State right now. And that's just my opinion. I think Darvin Ham has made some good moves, not asking him to do too much. I think some of the experience of some of the older players, the LeBrons and ADs, guys who have been through championship runs, are really helping him. And he was a former player, so he knows what it's like to be in the trenches during this time of year. So, but congratulations to LA for doing what you were supposed to do last night. Hold home court, put the pressure. All the pressure will be on them. And I love it. One more time for the DJ. I love my little soundboard. Let me get into the chat real quick. This Lake Show unit is still improving. If there's one thing they go off on 3 months, the Dubs. Maybe in years past, Gator Girl. Maybe in years past. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Like I said, Sacramento and Malik Monk been given a starting role after, I would say, game 3. If you wanted to stick with Huerter for the first 2 games, fine. Malik Monk should have been starting game 3. Huerter should have been coming off the bench. If they'd have made that coaching change, Sacramento would have beat the Dubs first round. I'll go on record as saying that. You was giving Huerter way too much freedom, way too many minutes. When you ain't got it going, you ain't got it going. That's why you didn't see D'Angelo in the fourth quarter. He didn't have it. Hey, I can't be loyal to you. I'm trying to win this game. So Lonnie Walker, Mr. I haven't played at all, except some garbage minutes in the other game. Come in and what does Lonnie Walker do? Now, I like this quote. They asked, Lonnie Walker after the game, how was he able to come in and be so effective and um, all of that? And he said, I understand that I'm a role player. And and I talked about this earlier when I was talking about the Knicks Heat series. Guys understanding their role. Lonnie Walker understands, hey, I'm not the starter. Can I go be a starter? Probably, yeah, on a bad team. But I'm sacrificing my game to be with in a better situation. I mean, because I'm pretty sure Lonnie Walker, his entourage, his crew, probably looking, hey man, you way more athletic than Austin Reeves. You should be starting. Hey, that's not his role on this team. It's not his role on this team. So 3-1. That's a tall order, Gator girl. And I don't see what other moves can you make. I mean, I suggested last night giving Gary Payton more of a look. They did. I mean, it worked for a while. Where else do you go? Where else do you go? What other tweaks do you make to? I mean, if you're in desperation mode, probably the only thing I could really, if you're gonna go small. Go small. Have Draymond run 5, and Wiggins at the 4, and hope Jordan Poole is got his head out his ass and put him in the starting lineup. I mean, that's it. That's it. I mean, that's the only moves I can see being made. But hey, all I can do is make suggestions. It's on you to listen to it. Let me kind of peek in here on 76ers Boston game. See if did Boston kind of close the gap. It's a 9-point game. Philly is up at half. Joel is going to work early, 21 points. Okay. All right. Let's see. 21 and 5. All right. Joel is going to work. Okay. What other game? Cameron was right about that kid. Yeah, he was. Also gonna, Philly is playing boss right now. And I don't want to get into that one right now because it's halftime, so that'd be kind of cheating. But Philly is looking good. Philly's looking good on the road right now. Boston doesn't seem to have it. Let me kind of look at the stat line here. Who's shooting what? Yeah, Boston is shooting like crap, shooting 36%, 25 from 3, and getting out rebounded. Okay. All right. Game 5, also tonight, Denver, Phoenix. I've been on record. Phoenix doesn't have a chance if Booker and KD don't go for 35 apiece. I'll stick to that. I'm so nervous about Denver and Phoenix tonight. Why? Denver's at home. They tend to play better at home. I'm talking about some of the role players. Joker's going to be Jokic. I think Murray's going to be Murray. I think Porter Jr. kind of comes out of it with the home crowd. Aaron Gordon kind of gives you a lift. But for Phoenix to win this series, it's got to be Book, KD, 35, at least 35 apiece. Anything less than that, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Dog, don't worry. You don't have to watch. You can come back later. I upload the clips for you. You ain't got to sit through the game, sit through the torture. I got you. But like I said, before I kind of close out tonight's show, I did have an update on the Brett Favre situation. Those who don't know, let me kind of give you a brief background on the Brett Favre situation. It was reported last May that Brett Favre was involved in the largest case of public fraud in the state of Mississippi's history. The Hall of Fame quarterback was one of the original. It was originally 38 defendants. Now it's up to 47 defendants in a civil lawsuit filed by the Mississippi Department of Human Services, which is Mississippi's version or name of DFACS, seeking to recoup temporary, TANF funds that were diverted to the rich and powerful. All together, all the individuals involved with this civil lawsuit, a state audit had found that $77 million in welfare funds was misspent and misappropriated. Brett Favre, of course, being the biggest name involved, not to say that he was the biggest culprit as far as the money was concerned, but it's the biggest name involved. I had my own commentary on Brett Favre when this situation initially broke, for him to accept any kind of governmental funding to support anything dealing with his alma mater, University of Southern Mississippi. I mean, of course, according to the report, he donated some of his money and helped raise funds for the facility, a volleyball facility, which is his daughter plays at. Daughter was on the team, so of course you're gonna get behind that. Um, but the university overall received $5 million of the TEDA funds for this project. It was like given as a gift. Like I said, it's a sad story because when you consider the state of Mississippi, probably the poorest and has been the poorest state in these good United States. Yes, the Brett Favre situation is disgusting, but typical. Yes, yes. How you doing, Keeper? Don't snug up in here on me when I was screen hopping. Um, I hope Favre goes all the way down, not like the burnt turkey thief. Hey, but here's the update that came out because if you know, Brett Favre has filed several defamation lawsuits against one. I know one against Shannon Sharp and one against sports announcer Pat McAfee. About their reporting on the story and casting him quote unquote in a negative light. The judge last week. The judge last week filed a suppression order limiting pretrial publicity until the case, which now has, I said, 47. So it's grown since from the original 38 defendants that have. He's cast a suppression order limiting public or pretrial publicity, meaning public statements, stuff like this stuff Brett Favre was doing with these defamation lawsuits and that kind of stuff until it goes to trial or it is resolved. I think this is real damaging. But it's the right thing to do when you consider what's at stake in this civil lawsuit. Brett Favre has tried to sway the the public opinion in regards to this. Oh my bad. Had something else pop up. He has tried to sway public opinion about this. He didn't know. Then it comes out through text messages about other people who've already pled guilty on the criminal side of this, who've already pled guilty, and their text messages and emails and other recordings and show that Brett Favre knew where this money was coming from. So this, the governor just blessing him with this money and not understanding where it came from. That turned out to be a lie. But it's a civil lawsuit. State is trying to recruit. Brett Favre was paid with TANF funds to do lectures and speeches that he did not do. That was found out. He ended up paying back $1 million, but he still owed like $280,000 left. They wanted an additional for penalties. Brett Favre's coming to earth. I ain't gonna say I never liked the guy. I mean, because I didn't know him. It was only when stuff started coming out about Brett Favre off the field, and then some of the stuff that was going on the field where I really had a distaste for Brett Favre. Ms. VS says it protects the defendants in the case too. Silence is best. Yes, it is. And he's been out here running his mouth. Now, typically, I don't like to mix my stuff up, but he's come out in support of Tucker Carlson. He's asked for a nationwide boycott of Fox News by hardcore Republicans over the firing of Tucker Carlson. We'll see where that gets him, but hey, yeah, he is a good old boy. He's always been a good old boy. He's always been a diva, and I don't think people really understood what kind of person he really was because you didn't really know Brett Favre. This is Brett Favre comes his career tail end, like that's when social media was really taking off. Back in the day, if it didn't make the news, you didn't really know about some of the off-field issues and concerns, character concerns that these athletes had, because it wasn't reported. It was just kind of like, the good old boy system. We keep it in house. For this to come out, here you are, a retired player, millionaire, still making money, still in advertisements, and you're taking government handouts to build irrelevant facilities at your alma mater. And I get it, it's your money, you made it, but then again, this wasn't your money. You didn't make it. Taxpayers paid for this. Taxpayers with $5 million, and considering how broke down and bad the state of Mississippi is, and if you live there, and you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but your state is fucked up. Your state has been fucked up for decades. Don't blame me. Blame those in government who decide to give out $77 million to scammers. That's just me. That's just me. But I'm curious to see where this case kind of goes. Like I said, some people have already kind of come out, pled guilty, or cooperating with the state as far as their investigation is going forward with this civil lawsuit. Brett Favre is, like I said, it's not the biggest culprit, but he is the biggest name involved in this. So, like I said, I wanted to kind of give you an update on that, and we'll come back to the story when more news breaks out about it. Let me get into the chat for a quick second. Miss VS says it's what the money should have went to. Tanner, for those in deep need below the. But Miss VS, I don't want I don't know how many people in here have ever been to Mississippi. Mississippi is poor as hell. I mean, it's like going through Mississippi is like going back to the late 60s in a lot of areas, and like 60s and 50s. I mean, they're behind the times. And the state itself is just poor. It's just poor, and I hate to say it like that because it's good people in Mississippi, and I'm not talking about the people, but the infrastructure is bad. The economy is bad. Look what they're doing with TANF. Like, you shouldn't even, as poor as your state is, you shouldn't even and be entertaining any kind of conversations to be giving out any kind of government funding for irrelevant shit like volleyball facilities. But hey, it's Brett Favre. He's a good old boy. I'm pretty sure it comes with some. All right, we need you on the campaign trail for such and such. So they can stay in office. I'm pretty sure it was a lot of grease. And I don't want to turn this into a political show because then I start having to go down the rabbit hole with Clarence Thomas and his affiliation with several billionaires and paid trips and that kind of stuff. So keep it sports. I may do a show on that on my other channel. I may do a show on that probably Sunday. I don't know. But we'll see. Ms. VS says it's funny that white collar crime is laughed at. White collar crime, I wouldn't say it's laughed at, Ms. VS. I think what white collar crime is like when you see it happen, and it's like it's expected. When we're talking about people in power doing illegal stuff with government funds and that kind of stuff, you just kind of like, what? It's sad, but you know what? I can see that happening. I can see it happen. It's when you have access to that, you have people that are, corrupt. You have access to all these government funds and taxes and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say that Mississippi is the only state that does this kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure it may go on in other states where you start seeing government funds being funneled toward particular contractors. But like I said, I don't want to turn this into a political show. Keep it with the sports. Get it, girl. Says real quick, saying that this whack over Twitter is actually a book. Tato, what? No. I think Tatum's a better player. For one, I know Tatum can play defense when he's motivated. Tatum is a better rebounder. I think Tatum is a better shot creator. That's just me. Yeah, let me start because I'm about to go. Yeah, let me keep it to the sports, Ms. VS. Keep it to the sports. But I may do a show on this sometime this weekend. I don't know. I mean, because it's unsettling when you kind of see this stuff. But it's not, it's unsettling, but it's not unusual and it's not uncommon. The stuff with Clarence Thomas, that's business as usual in Washington. So why would I be surprised that the Chief Justice is involved in that kind of behavior? But anyway, second half of Boston and Philly. If you're not, you're not a Phillies fan, I know some of y'all ain't. But yeah, second half is about to tip off. 10 o'clock tip off tonight for Phoenix at Denver. We'll see if Denver is able to kind of contain one of the big guns for Phoenix. If not, ooh boy, you don't want to go down 3-2 when them boys playing like that. Back to Phoenix. I don't know. hopefully my boys can close out. Like I said, quick channel update. Tomorrow I won't be live. I got a work function I got to go to, so I'll be back on Thursday, same bad time, same bad channel. I will be probably going a little bit early on Friday. Those that know. Probably going about 8 o'clock on Friday. Probably doing a show on Friday. All knew about Uncle Clarence. Yeah, we did. See, I can't. I'll be don't turn this into a political show. We'll be no, because I want to get back to the game. Keep it focused. Keep it clean. But yeah, so tomorrow no show. Thursday and Friday be back. We'll see how tonight games play out. Of course, when we get back on Thursday, we'll break it down. We'll break down tonight's games. We'll break down Wednesday's games. Might be a little bit longer of a show on Thursday. Of course, Friday going to be a little bit early because y'all know what I do on Fridays. Yeah, I'm back. So thank y'all for coming out. Remember, like, share, subscribe. If you're not watching the games, you just want to catch the highlights. Trust me, your boy got you. Your boy got you. Give me about 20 minutes after the game is over to kind of put that stuff together. Highlight to be going up. Remember, like I said, like, share, subscribe. Thank you everybody for coming out. Lakers in 6. Jerm, what's happening? Jerm, you emailed me, Jerm. I got an idea I want to bounce off of you. Send me an email. We'll talk about it. Got an idea. I want to bounce off of you. You'll be getting strikes. Oh, okay. But yeah, let me get up out of here. Thank you everybody for coming out, catching on the replay. Like I said, be back Thursday, Friday. I still don't have an outro. It can't come to me. But anyway, y'all have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of the games. Enjoy your week. Be blessed. And I'm out.